prep for the new Superman movie, I've been watching Smallville. Here's my review of Season 1. Now, Smallville is not a show that I grew up with. The first season came out when I was 3 years old, and I didn't start watching it until about 15 years ago when it was on Netflix. And even then, I only saw maybe the first season and half of the second season. I got busy with high school, so I didn't really have the time or even care to go back and finish it, but now I'm going to. And since it's been so long, the majority of this season was still pretty fresh to me. I didn't remember a whole lot about it. This show came out at a time where we hadn't really cracked the code for adapting comic books to screen. Before this, we'd had the Adam West Batman show, the Lou Ferrigno Hulk show, the Linda Carter Wonder Woman show, and movie-wise, we had the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, the Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney Batman movies, and the first X-Men movie as well as Blade, and that was pretty much it. This came out before the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. This came out before all the Arrowverse shows. So comic books as a movie and TV medium were still relatively new, at least in live action. We of course had the animated Batman and Superman series. There were a few Spider-Man cartoons, but as far as live action went, there wasn't a whole lot. So it's kind of amazing that Season 1 turned out as well as it did. It's also notable that Season 1 premiered just a few weeks after 9/11, which was this very shocking tragedy for our country, a time where we all came together and united as Americans. Marvel took the newfound sense of patriotism to bring back Captain America, since he was made as a wartime hero, and we were in peacetime for a lot up to that point. And of course, DC brought back the original American superhero, one who fights for truth, justice, and the American way. And you can tell this show came out around the same time as shows like X-Files and Buffy, since it has a very similar formula dealing with these supernatural threats. It also kind of takes a page from Spider-Man, since Clark is in his teen years and is still discovering and dealing with new powers. Sometimes the season can deal with real-life issues, but add a comic book element to them. There's an episode that has a villain who has body image issues, so when she gets the power to suck people's life essence away, she uses it to get revenge on her bullies. But the more she uses it, the quicker she gets hungrier until nothing can satisfy her hunger. A character who, interestingly enough, is played by Amy Adams, who would go on to play Lois Lane in the Henry Cavill Superman movie. Now, I'm not really a fan of the teen romance and love triangle of the show. I don't like either Chloe or Lana, especially now because of some very horrific things the actresses are now associated with. And we know he ends up with Lois anyway, so what's the point? I like the way they wrote Lex this season, where he's for the most part a genuinely nice guy. He's just being manipulated by his father. It's interesting to see one of Superman's greatest enemies as his friend, and it will be more intriguing as the show goes on to see how that friendship is eventually severed, similar to Professor X and Magneto. Overall, I'd say the season gets a 9 out of 10, and it's a fantastic start to the show, with